So yesterday we have seen like how we can make the customizations into the tab bar. Now, in a simple word, how we can bring some new tabs, remove some existing tab, and particularly for one of the application. Now, understand one thing about here. See, every application right now, as you can see, you are on to the sales. All right. If you go to the service, the tab bar is going to be get changed. See, so the tab bar customization, what you did, you earlier, we did it for the sales cloud, for the sales application. So this is something which is dependent on the application. Every application have its own tab bar. So if you commit these changes, in the sales cloud, we cannot say that it is going to be applied for every other applications as well. No, every application would have a separate tab bar. All right. So this is something which was, I think, which was left yesterday. Now let me go with some few more things, and that is how to make the sidebar as a collapsible component, collapsible, dockable, expandable, collapsible. So let's understand. So what I will be doing is like, I'll go to Sales Cloud first of all, and let me show you something. See, when I go to account, all right, if I go to lead, if I go to contact, if I go to opportunity, everywhere, right, everywhere. If you have observed one thing, this particular component, this particular portion onto user interface, it is actually same. And this is something called as sidebar. Let's see. If I go to lead, right, there might be few more components have been added or has been shuffled, have been replaced. But this particular area of user interface, it is called as sidebar. So it is over here. If I go to, for example, account, right? If I go to account, I could also see sidebar over here, and then contacts again, opportunities and cases solution, wherever, right? So this particular area, no, it is called as sidebar. This particular area is called as sidebar. And now it is what? It's a static component. It appears to be a static component, right? Wherever I go, I mean, I tried by clicking on to different tabs as well. Like I tried to click on lead and then account and then contact and opportunity or with some other objects. We have seen that this sidebar is actually present everywhere. The sidebar is present everywhere. Now see, having sidebar is not an issue on user interface. Having a sidebar is not an issue, but there is a functionality, there is one functionality that is given that if you see this menu, how come? This is something called as expandable collapsible. The force.com quick access menu. This menu actually is called as force.com quick access menu or simply quick menu. So, this is something called as expandable and collapsible. Whenever you require, you just click onto this particular button. It would appear onto user interface. You don't require, just make it up over once again, make a click. So it's going to be get hidden. So this is seems to be a very good. Why? Because we can use this much of the portions. We can use this much of the portion for something else as well. So this feature, this type of menu is something called as collapsible menu. First of all, this type of menu is something called as collapsible menu, collapsible or maybe expandable or maybe dockable component, dockable component. Now, sidebar actually is not right now. It is not a dockable component. You see, sidebar right now is not a dockable component, but we can customize this. We can customize this to become a dockable component, become a collapsible component. All right. So how exactly we can do that? How exactly we can do that? That everything has been written over here. The navigations, whatever required, the steps what required to be get followed, right? Everything has been written. You have to just follow this. You just have to follow this. All right. Let me now try to show you. What you would require, first of all, go to setup menu and then go to customize. In the build, go to customize. Inside customize, you have something called as user interface. Just go to the last of this list. You see user interface over here. I mean, when you expand the customize inside the build menu, when you expand the customize, if you scroll it down to the last, you will be going to see something called as a user interface. You have to click it over here. Right? You have to click it over here. Now, Here, as you can see, there is a complete section called sidebar. There's a complete section, you see, there's a complete section called sidebar. And then a small checkbox, enable collapsible sidebar, right? This is what I wanted. This is what I required to click. So I have now enabled it. Previously, it was not, right? And that was the reason the sidebar was what? It was a static component on every page. It was a static component on every page. Now, when I make it click, when I make it click, it becomes like, now the collapsible sidebar has been enabled. Now, once you have done with the changes, you have to scroll it down and just save it. Otherwise, it won't get be the changes what you have applied won't be committed. Now, if I go to this, see, sidebar has completely removed, and it's actually present over here. You just require to make a click wherever. It's not like you have to click the button. It is not like that. पीपल यूज टू सी कि यहीं क्लिक करना है, नहीं ऐसा नहीं, आप यहाँ भी करेंगे तो भी एक्सपैंड होता है ना, यू क्लिक इट समवेयर लाइक इन द बॉटम, दैट कुड आल्सो हैपन. So what is the benefit what we have seen by making a sidebar as a collapsible component? We got more area, we got more visibility over here, we got more visibility onto this. Now see, why we are learning this, I tell you one thing. You could even access Salesforce from a mobile phone. First of all, Salesforce, because it is getting loaded into browsers, right? It is getting loaded into browsers, and browsers are there in mobiles as well. And this website, the Salesforce, this application actually is a responsive application. So it would, the size, the form factor, the size, whatever. If you are using this in a screen, a big screen, a small screen, a laptop or desktop, whatever, or maybe your Android TV as well. So it would going to adjust the size by its own. That is something called as responsive. This feature is called as responsive. Anyways, so you can even see, you can even load your Salesforce into mobile phone. So when particularly if we are accessing it, if you know that a client is going to access this from the tab device or maybe a mobile device, when we are loading the things into mobile, so if it come along with the sidebar, it could look, what I could say, this is going to load in a less amount of area, right? And if I make it expandable, collapsible, so we could have a better insight on, we could have a better visibility. So that is one of the reason, that is one of the reason. Or maybe simple thing would be like, you don't want it sidebar every time it should be appear. So now if you make these changes, these changes have been applied to where? To the sidebar. It is not related to any tab. No, wherever you go, if you committed sidebar if you committed sidebar as a dockable component, it is going to be applied everywhere where the sidebar is present. Like sidebar is not present into reports, you see, there's no sidebar over here, then there would be no, obviously there would be no concept of expanding and collapsing. But wherever the sidebar is there, right, this setting is going to be get applied. All right, now I'll tell you one real time incident. This happens with one of my friend, you know, somewhere around like 5 to 6 years back. We were, getting so. Um, I mean, that time I just came to know about this technology. I was taking training, so we used to stay there in Hyderabad. In one room, we were like 4 to 5 people. All of them. Uh, I mean, they were learning certain technologies. So there was one of our friend. I mean, he got an interview, and that time it was a concept of physical interview. Now after pandemic, this whole started the virtual interviews and all. So now this is what is going on. Everywhere there's a virtual interview these days. Even I'm also, I've cracked a few interviews. All right. So everything that is going on these days, they are virtual. But that was a time, when we used to give the physical interviews. So in the machine test, the interviewer asked him a question. What he did is like, he just opened an account record, and he deleted it. He deleted that account record. And now he asked him, can you please restore him back? The account record which I have deleted, can you please restore it back? And all right, so this kind of user interface was in front of him. Whenever you delete something, it obviously it goes to recycle bin. That is what we all know. So he tried to locate recycle bin. He tried to locate recycle bin. He didn't find it onto interface. He go to home tab and everywhere, but he didn't find it. So finally, he finally quit to this thing, and he said, "I'm not being able to locate the recycle bin." All right. So why he was not able to locate the recycle bin? Obviously, he got failed in that interview because see, recycle bin actually is a component of sidebar. Understand? Recycle bin is a component of sidebar. It was a very small observation. I always used to say, when you are taking a training, when you are taking, see, this is that account record. I click undelete. There's going back to account once again. So I always used to say 95% would be the training. 5% to learn something is always a scope, is on a scope of learning something new from the observation. So if you put your eyes over here, that inside sidebar I can see recycle bin. That means recycle bin actually is a component of sidebar, and you will not going to find it anywhere else. You go to home, there are in the home we have calendar section, chatter section. This is chatter, this is calendar, means event section, my task, items to approve, and whatever approval histories and all that. You won't find it over here. That recycle bin is actually a component of sidebar. This is a very small incidence, I tell you. But I just wanted you to understand that this could be a small thing. This could be a small thing, right? Sometimes even that small thing, uh, due to that small thing, probably you haven't observed. Just the reason is that you haven't properly observed that. That could bring a worse kind of situation in life. So nobody expect this. Nobody expect this. But that is how he was being examined. They deleted something and they asked him to restore back. Now, if you know that recycle, that when this we know that when we delete something goes to recycle bin. But where is that recycle bin? Where is that recycle bin? He was not being able to locate the recycle bin. That is the reason. And he finally said, no, I don't understand how to bring it back. So put your eyes always over here, right? Put your eyes always over here. So that was one of the things, how to make the sidebar as a dockable component. Let's now go with learning. There are few small things in the beginning that we are learning, and then after that we are going to start with major of the things like objects and all that, right? Let's first of all try to make ourselves comfortable in this room. So let's understand one more thing: customization of recent record section. But before that, let me try to see, whenever you go to any home, if you go to like contacts homepage, if you go to accounts homepage, or you go to opportunities homepage, right? The things what we observe over here, let's have a discussion. Let's have a discussion on to those. Whenever I see this user interface, I could see few things. This is my tab bar, all right, and this is sidebar, which we have make it dockable, all right. Then after this is just like it is a place where the name of what the name of your tab, particularly on which tab you are, that everything has been displayed. And one important thing what we see over here, this particular thing, this is called as enhanced list view. Enhanced list view, or in simple word, it is called, sometimes it is also called as list view, all right. List view, enhanced list view is one and same thing. This section particularly is called as recent record section, all right. Recent record section, and then reports, and then tools, all right. These are the sections what I have highlighted onto home page. Onto the home tab, you go to you go to any of the i mean any of the tab. Like I have reached to contact, again the same thing applies. This is what, this is my sidebar, this is my enhanced list view, this is recent record section, all right. Reports and tools, whatever, something might change over here, but usually these two things are common. List view is present in every tab, and recent record section, that is also present everywhere. You go to every tab and you will going to find these two sections: list view, enhanced list view section, or list view section, simple. And the second one is recent record. Now you see the name recent contact. All right. If you are in contact, the name is recent contact. If you are in lead, it would be recent lead. All right. If you are in account, it would be recent account, recent opportunities, right? Recent products, recent cases, recent solution. Product, the interface is different. So what this recent record section would display, you see, when I go to account, right? I can see that account what you have recently accessed, that account always displayed over here. For example, let me try. If I go with, like, for example, if I go with Burlington Textile, all right, I did nothing. I just have accessed this account. And when I come back, the name highlighted over here in the reverse chronicle order. That means the one you have recently accessed would come always on to top of the list, right? I go to, for example, pyramid constructions. All right, I go to pyramid constructions and I access this account. When I come back onto the home, I'll going to see the name of the pyramid. This is what a recent record section. All right, just give me 1 minute. Just I'm muting for one minute. So now let's understand how we can customize this recent record section. So what does it mean by this customization? All right, see, um, when we go to this section seems to be like a table, right? This section seems to be like a table. I can see that this is actually a table. Now it is having the default like one column called as account name. The second column is like billing city, and then the third column is what, phone. Right. Now, see, it is always good to see the records that you have recently opened, that actually minimize, for example, I was working on to these two account record yesterday night. All right. And when I started my day by today, there was something which was left to be done, so I could easily locate this. I mean, let's understand ki yesterday night I was working on pyramid construction. when I and then I mean, I was doing my work, but then there was something which was left to be done, right? Today morning when I logged in, I can see pyramid construction in the top of the list. So this life becomes easy for me, right? Why? I'll just make a click and I'll continue and I'll resume my work from where I have left it yesterday night. So this is obviously a very important section. This helps us in lots many ways, right? So the customization of recent record section means what? Now, for example, right now what the columns what are displaying over here is like account name, billing city, and phone. And client ask us would be like, this is good to have a recent record section on the home tab itself. But then instead of displaying me like, billing city or maybe the phone, it would be more appropriate, if this section would display me the annual revenue, or maybe customer priority, or maybe the customer's active status, something like that. So that, for example, if I'm having like 3 to 4 records, I could start my day with someone whose annual revenue is like high, or maybe some a customer whose priority is high, or maybe someone whose SLA is gold level. So, if I'm having 5 options, I wanted to start my work by today, or I wanted to decide something. So based on certain columns, based on the values of certain columns, I wanted to take this decision कि मुझे सबसे पहले किसके साथ काम करना चाहिए, किस पे काम करना चाहिए. So he was asking like, account name is good to have. Account name should always be there. But instead of displaying me billing city and phone onto this, it would be more appropriate if you display me the data of like annual revenue. If you display me the data like, customer rating, hot, cold, and warm, and the priority, high, medium, low, whatever, annual revenue, something like that. So how exactly we could make the customizations over here, right? How we can change the schema of this table in short. So for that, what needs to be done? Expand the force.com quick access menu. And this is something I told you is called as force.com quick access menu, or simple quick access menu. Now go to edit columns. Go to edit columns. All right. So when you go to the edit column, you can see these two names are there, right? This we don't want it. This we don't want. So I've selected, I'm removed. And then what we want, let me add those. So we wanted to add like, annual revenue, isn't it? Annual revenue. Then and rating as well. And we also wanted to have the active status, customer priority, or maybe SLA. All right. I'm just adding all this. Now, once you are done with the selection, just save it. Now, when you come back, See, in the recent record section, we have annual revenue, we have ratings, we have active status customer, and this depends what you wanted. I mean, how many you columns that you wanted to be added over here. So this is something called as a recent record section, recent record section, and then the customization of recent record section. All right. This I will take in a separate lecture. This I would be taking in a separate lecture because list view, enhanced list view, this would require you to understand something called as a formula, how to create the formulas and all that. So today is like Friday. All right. Today is Friday. So next would be on Monday. Next lecture would be on Monday. And from Monday, we are going to start with the list view customization. And there, no, let's take it by today itself. Let's take it by today itself. You're having all these assignments. You would get Saturday and Sunday to complete this. All right. Let's start it by today itself. वैसे भी थोड़ा आज क्वेश्चंस नहीं लूंगा फिर मैं. Let's start it by today. All right. See, first of all, what is an enhanced list view or simple list view? This particular area, this one, what you see, right, is enhanced list view. Now, what does it do? What does it do? So it have some of the few default options. Like if I go in case of account, if I go, it is having all accounts, my accounts, right? And it's all platinum and gold. So it is actually trying, if you see, if you click on my accounts, it would play, it was bring this something new to the last week. All right. And then new to this week, whatever. So this is just trying to filter out the records. I could say that these are certain filter options. Like if you go to, for example, lead, there is also enhanced list view, all open leads, closed leads, recently view, the leads that are generated by today itself. Right. If you go to, for example, contacts, there are all contacts. Like if you go and click on all contacts, it will going to display you all of the records from the contact. Then you wanted to display all those contacts where who's having birthday in this month. What is month? October month. All right. To whom like we have my contacts or what we already have sent them SMS, whatever. These are what in short, see, understand. These are what? These are some options so that we could filter out the record. If, for example, you are having 1 million record inside an object and you wanted to put certain filter, you wanted to see some specific set of data. You have 1 million records inside an object. Understand this. And but you wanted to see only those records with a certain specific the criteria is matching, certain specific conditions are matching with that, those kinds of record. So you just wanted to see. So what you can do is like, you can apply filters over here. Now let me try to show you something. All right, so let's take a use case. It's being written over here. It's being written over here. Configure the list view option for the account object, and we wanted to represent only those accounts whose rating is hot. I mean, instead of displaying me everything, for example, if I go with all accounts, all of the accounts record, how many records? There are 14 records. They are present over here, right? Now let me bring one more column over here so that you would understand. Edit columns. Let me bring rating as well. Let me bring rating as well. Don't want this also. I don't want. Rather, I would like to have active status, industry, annual revenue, account site. Again, I don't want. All right, let me now save this. All right, so when I click onto all accounts, you see all 14 accounts, of all type of ratings. But precisely see, I mean, those accounts are also displayed where there is no value to rating. Those are also displayed where the rating is hot. Those are also displayed where the rating is warm and cold. But I precisely want, what I want? I precisely want to create an option which would display me only those account record where the rating is hot. It could be warm, could be cold, or even blank. This is just an example. All right. This is just an example. What you have to get it from here, you have to get the process, how I'm doing this, and not what exactly I'm doing this. All right. So I could even ask you, display me all those accounts which are where the rating is warm, or maybe the rating is cold, or they don't have any ratings, right? In that case, you will going to display me these. So this could be any use case. You have to see how am I applying the filters and all that. That is the more important thing. All right. So we are having one requirement. Presently, if I go with the options, what are present over here, I'm having the options for all account, for my account, for new last, this. But I don't see any such option which is telling me if you click this option, you will be going to see only those accounts which are rating, that the rating is hot. There's no such option. All right, there's no option. These are default option. These are standard option. That doesn't mean I cannot create. Yes, of course I can create it. I can create it. One new option. One can. जितने चाहे उतने कर सकते हैं आप. There's a small link over here. Create a new. See, if you wanted to make the changes in the existing, you go with edit. You want to delete something, go with delete. But if you wanted to add something, add a new option inside this icon. I cannot see any option to select only hot rating customers, only warm rating customers, or maybe the customer where the industry is banking. Maybe the customer where the annual revenue is less than, greater than, sorry, 5 lakh, less than 2 lakh, whatever. So if the options are not there, you always have a provision that you could add it. So see, create a new way. Go with this. Create a new way. All right. Now give the name. I'm giving the name like hot rating customers. I'm giving the name as hot rating customers. Now, when you are applying this, you also have to apply something called as a filter option. You have to create a formula. So I would be creating, you certainly don't require to type anything. All right, coding is not required. Everything is available. Everything available onto mouse click. You just have to select it. So I'll be selecting rating. You know, what is hot rating? See, when you go to, if I go to account, right? And with any account, you see there's a field called as rating over here, rating, right? Rating have, it's a pick list menu. It's have three: hot, warm, and cold. It could be hot, could be warm, it could be none as well, right? It could be none. All right. So basically, you know what we wanted to apply a filter based on which, based on rating column. And so over here, which field I'm selecting? I'm field rating. Out of all these fields, all right, out of all these fields, I wanted to apply the filter based on rating. Rating should what? Equals to, should not equals to, contains, less than, greater than, everything. I wanted equals. Rating should equals to what? Again, you have to type something. No, they see, as if you select any pick list. See, this is not a pick list. There something has been gone from here. But if you select any pick list, something appears. This is something called as
काय केलं
मोनाली. देखो ऐसा होता है, एक दिन भी अगर मैं भूल जाऊं आप लोगों को म्यूट करना है ना, I start because today I started like 15 minutes what late. So I just started with this. Okay, let's teach and see this happens. This happens. मोनाली, your mic was like, you know, अभी on हुआ था और काफी शोर हुआ था आपके end से. Anyways, all right. So this filter what I am applying, you know, so you have to first of all select a field. Okay, based on what? Based on what? So I'm selecting the field called rating. I'm applying this filter based on rating field. So rating should, the value equals to, net not equals to, whatever. In my case, it is equals to what? Just make a click onto this lookup icon. It should be hot. And now insert this. Now insert. So what this formula becomes, when somebody click this option, this is about to be get created, when, by the way, but whenever, you know, abhi chalo ye ho jayega. So when this option would be created, hot rating customer, it is going to be added over here. You know, this option which I'm creating right now is going to be added over here. यहाँ पे add होने वाला है. I haven't saved it, you know, I haven't saved it. लेकिन as soon as I will be saving this, तो एक नया option create होगा जिसका नाम होगा hot rating customer. You'll be going to see it over here. You'll be going to see it over here, right? And what it is going to be displayed? It is going to display me only those account record where the rating is hot, right? All right. And after clicking this, what field should be get displayed? That you have to decide. So I'm just removing everything. I wanted to see the first thing is rating itself. Why? Because to signify this, okay, after clicking this option, only those fields are displaying, only those records are displaying where the rating is hot. How will you signify that? And few more things like maybe a billing city or country. All right, let's go with this. Make it visible to me or make it visible to all users. It all depends on the kind of requirement. I'll just give you a small, what I could say, a small input about this, because this is something we'll be more learning when we are discussing security. But a small brief about this is like when you make it visible only to you. So the user which is creating this option would appear only to his profile. And when you make it available for all users, this whatever you have created is being available for all of the users inside the org. So this something we would require to decide onto this fact कि हमें क्या करना चाहिए, right? हमें क्या करना चाहिए. But अभी के लिए तो भी आप जितनी भी चीजें बनाओगे, you are about to create something called objects भी आप create करने वाले हो, अब आगे चल के fields भी create करने वाले हो. So everything whatever we would be creating for now, at least जब तक हम security नहीं पढ़ा, हमने नहीं जाना कि how to create the users and all that. So whatever we are creating, we would be creating this for everyone. Okay. We would be creating this for everyone. So this option I'm creating, I'll make it visible for all users. Later on, you will be going to learn something called as how to create the objects, how to create the objects, how to create the applications. Whenever you create something, just make it visible for everybody. For now, when you learn security and you understand how then we can bifurcate things between user to user, तब हम देख लेंगे. All right. अभी तो हम जो भी create करेंगे ना, we'll make it available for everybody in the house, and so make it visible for all users, and then save it. Now see, as soon as you save it, right? Previously there were these options. अभी मैंने refresh नहीं किया इसको, देखो. All right. If I now refresh it, it would be loaded with new data. See, one more option has been added. Hot rating customer. If you click on my accounts, you would be seeing this. When you click on hot rating customers, you'll see these options are loaded. All right. All right. These options are loaded. If I let me show you something. If I what is happening? Yeah. If I for example go to contacts, if I click on to for example all contacts, right? If I go to all contacts, I can see there are so many contacts. There are so many contacts, but there are few of the contacts where the email ID is blank. Where the email ID is blank. If particularly I wanted to identify out of these 1 million, for example, 1 million contacts, how many of them are them there where the email ID is blank, right? I don't see any option over here. I don't see any option. I could create a new view. I could create a new view. You can give a significant name, blank email contacts, right? Filter by all contacts, my content going with all contacts. What is the additional option? I wanted the email field. Okay, I wanted to see all those email records which are blank, So I'm selecting email should equals to keep it blank. Don't give any value over here. Don't give any value. This means what is your filter? The filter is after selecting this option. If somebody select this option from the list view, he'll going to see he'll going to see those email IDs. The value is blank. The value is blank. All right, I'm going with this what of selection. Make it visible for all users and then save it. And then save it. See, these are the email IDs. It doesn't have, sorry, these are the contact that doesn't have any email ID. Understand? This is what you are doing with this. For example, I'll go with opportunities. All right, I'll go with opportunities. If I click on all opportunities, if for example, I wanted to see only those opportunities, if I wanted to see those opportunities, there were the stage is closed one. All right, what is the significance of this? We're going to understand in the sales process. But अभी चलो कुछ तो अभी जैसे आप देखते हो कि एक like अपॉर्चुनिटीज में एक फील्ड है जिसका नाम है स्टेज. उसकी अलग अलग वैल्यूज होती है, प्रोस्पेक्टिंग, क्वालिफिकेशन, नीड एनालिसिस, वैल्यू प्रपोजिशन, राइट? एंड देन क्लोज्ड वन. ऑलराइट, क्लोज्ड वन, क्लोज लॉस्ट भी होता है. तो particularly I wanted to see, I don't see any such option over here which recently viewed private one. All right, there's an option called as one है, यहाँ पे one है. But if you edit this, you can see, मान के चलो कि this is something what we have created. So closed one equals to true, right? Closed one equals to true. So by clicking to this option, we're going to see only those opportunities which are actually closed. Or for example, let me create once, 10, 100,000, 10,000, lakh. All right, I'll be creating one option called amount. All right, I'll be creating one option called amount may be greater than 50 maybe greater to, let's say 50 lakhs. All right. I'm creating one new option where I wanted to see only those opportunity where the amount. Let me select the amount from here. Uh, where the value of amount, all right, it is greater than or maybe equals to, chalo, greater and equals to भी ले लिया, 50 lakhs, ones, tens, hundred, thousand, 10,000, lakh. ठीक है, ones, tens, hundred, thousand, 10,000, lakh. Oh, one more zero, one more zero. So I wanted to see only those opportunities where the value of amount is greater than 50 lakh. And let me go with this default selection amount hai yahan pe, that's it, right? Make it visible for all users and let's save it. Let's save it. So what is going to be happen? There's no opportunity with, like, let me make certain changes in the criteria. I'll make this one एक zero कम कर देता हूँ यहाँ से, or maybe let's make it 2 lakh, ones, tens, hundred, thousand, 10,000, lakh, 2 lakh कर देता हूँ. Let me make it 2 lakhs only, because there is no such data. That is the reason I'm making these amendments. And let me now save it. All right, see. So when somebody click this option, he'll going to see all those opportunities where the amount value is greater than what, 2 lakh. So these are what? These are the filters what you apply. You know, these are the filters. If you click on all accounts, you'll be going to see all accounts. But if you wanted to go with a certain specific set of data, you could create. Just ये वाला create किया. I just wanted to see those customers where the rating could be hot, or SLA could be gold, industry could be banking. Let me create that as well. If I'm creating, for example, a banking customers, all right. If I'm going with, like, banking accounts, this is one of the list where I'm creating. I just wanted to, based on industry, of course, based on industry. So I'll be selecting industry. The value of industry should be what? The value of industry I'm selecting, out of every value should be banking. So please, after clicking, after click this option, please display me only those records of account where the industry is banking. So I must have, no, I must have industry over here, because that is the one which this is the way I will be justifying कि हाँ देखो हम लोग, we are looking into only those account which are the industry is banking. All right. So I selected banking, make it visible for all user and just save it. So only those account records are going to be get display where the industry is what, banking. So this is what the view, the list view would provide you with some filter options. It is, of course, it is having some default options inside that, but there is a facility that even you could create your own filters, like I created for the banking, for the hot, and for whatever. So this is something called as list view, and this is how we can customize this, and this is how we can create some more options inside that. If you wanted to do the changes in the existing option, that could also be done. You just load it and you can edit, and you could change the filter conditions from here as well, right? So you can make this customization to the existing options, or else if you want, you can create your own new options, your own new filters like this and this. So go with this by today. I'll not take any questions because I'm having one connected batch, and there are a few of the assignments that are with you. All right. So from Monday, I'll be going to start with the object IDs. Go with this all assignments. Go with this all assignments. If you found any difficulty, you can definitely let me know onto this WhatsApp group. And please don't, send me anything onto my personal WhatsApp. I don't know. I haven't saved anybody's number, right? I'll simply say I don't know you. If you wanted to ask me something, you have a community. I have given you that community, right? The WhatsApp group is your community. If you ask me over there, then and then only I'll going to make you a reply onto this. Otherwise, if you, message me onto personal, I don't know you. Simple answer, right? Go with this all assignments. If you found anything difficulty, just let me know onto your WhatsApp group. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great weekend.